everybody else, the whole world around, we jumped into the generative AI environments from November 2022 onwards. And we are now very much aware that our education stakeholders, teachers, administrators, students, but also policymakers, all need to be included and all need to get training, because we know GenAI is with us, it will stay with us. But what we are seeing is students and lecturers and teachers using the GenAI tools often daily, but in many cases without guidance on accuracy, bias, or ethics. And we also know that many of the tools are context blind. So they are built on non-African data. And that means that local languages, cultures, and curricula often remain invisible. I mean, we know this is getting better, but we are not there yet. We also know that there is, on the side of the policymakers, some form of gap. We do have now a draft AI policy at the university. We don't have a national one yet. So we need to make sure that also the policymakers are very much aware of what is going on and what is needed by all of us. So there is pressure, but even if there were no pressure, we really need to act. With the external pressure, we know that the policies and the mandates require that we comply. We also know that our accreditation bodies, the ones that say that our programs are ready for the general audience, they expect AI literacy. We have a body that is called ESHEC, the Eswatini Higher Education Council, that accredits our program, and they expect AI literacy as one of their standards. And of course, our students are demanding skills that they can use in real life. But even if we did not have external pressure, we have enough internal pressure that demands from us that we look at ethics, that we take up our ethical responsibility, because unguided use can cause a lot of damage. And we want to be a proactive institution and make sure that we are at the forefront of what is happening. So what we did in end 2024 is set up an AI Academy, where we have where we are training people in basic AI literacy and a bit of AI fluency, so that we have a model for responsible, context-sensitive AI use in education. The idea is to train the trainers first. So we want to upskill our faculty before we enter the student world, so that we make sure that credibility but also safety are built in. Responsible use is a main principle. It's a starting point, but also the fact that we work in a local context. So we have two official languages, that's English and Siswati, and we want to make sure that the Swazi language is there, is visible, can be used. And so we want to make sure that we have local case studies and examples from the culture and the language that is the most generally spoken in Eswatini. We're also trying to include our administrator, our policymaker. So we've been happy to have participants from the Ministry of Education joining us. So we work on a 3-layer readiness model. First of all, the awareness. What is GenAI? What are the opportunities, but also what are the risks? And we want to compare the global tools versus the more local tools. And now when I talk about a local tool, I'm not saying that we have set up local tools. We are still working on that. But what we do in, for example, a notebook LM environment is make sure that we work on local data only. And then the second layer would be the competence. This is where we give hands-on tool practice in prompt design, but also more and more in the critical evaluation of both the prompt and the output, and also the critical evaluation of the output when it comes to hallucination, discrimination, and bias. And then, of course, we are at the third layer, which really focuses on leadership, policy and governance design. We now have a draft policy. We are drafting also some guidelines. We are making sure that we embed AI into our curriculum. So what am I saying? I'm saying that any institution all over the world shouldn't wait, can't wait for the pressure to arrive. Let's all map our stakeholders. Who needs the training, when, at what level? We should be starting with the educators, because these are the ones that work with the pupils, with the learners, with the students, and with the future generations. So build internal capacity before we scale out, and then make sure that we anchor ethics and local context. It cannot be an afterthought. It has to be a fundamental, basic principle. So the best time to train is now. Let's not wait for later on. With that, I hope I have been within my 5 minutes, and I'm looking forward to any type of interaction and sharing of thoughts. Thank you very much for your attention.
Well, thank you. Hello, everyone, also from our side, from the TH Köln COIL team. My name is Susanne Glaeser, as mentioned before, and I'm here with my colleague Eva Zielasko. Well, today we would like to introduce you to COIL, which stands for Collaborative Online International Learning. This is a format you might be familiar with, or you might not. So I briefly explain. It's a teaching and learning approach that connects classrooms across borders. It allows students and lecturers from different countries to collaborate virtually, and this is the point, work on joint virtual projects and gain international experience without traveling. It's also called internationalization at home, or is one of the parts of internationalization at home. So this is why I was very interested in the previous talk, because you need a lot of teaching, e-teaching competences in order to do so. Well, at TH Köln, we are building a strong COIL network within our Pioneer Alliance, which is a part of the broader European University Alliances. The previous speakers also were acting in this context. A Pioneer is the alliance where the TH Köln is part of, and as you can see on the map, Pioneer brings together institutions from 10 European countries. Well, the main goal of this network is clear: to connect teaching staff and enable them to design and implement COIL projects together. Well, in order to make internationalization at home a standard in curricula, the main question here is, how do I, as a teacher or educator, find a teaching partner in whatever kind of countries? In our context, it's a European context, but COIL is applicable to the worldwide teaching, and it's also known worldwide. But if I do not know someone in a foreign country or on a foreign university, so how do I build this partnership? And this is what we did and how we answered to that challenge. We founded a COIL network within our Pioneer Alliance, and we now have currently 40 members from all participating countries. That makes our network very strong, but at the same time challenging, because the diversity in this group is enormous. We have IT specialists, e-learning experts, digital developers, international relation professionals, and of course, teaching staff from various disciplines. This depends on who is assigned the task of the internationalization in a university. And sometimes there is an institution who does it. Often it's the International Relation Office, but there is no common standard in this. So what did we do? The key to success for such a network, which was built in order to find teaching partners, is not just the structure or the network meetings we did, but it's the connections we built. And one of the highlights so far, we started about a year ago, was our in-person meeting in Cologne in autumn 2025. We met with colleagues from all partner universities, and one of the results was that in Cologne we decided to offer an online workshop to help teaching staff implement COIL and train their e-teaching competences. So this relates very much to what we've heard before. My colleague Eva will continue with some more results from our network.
Yes, thank you, Susanne. I will continue. I hope you can all hear me well. In what way is our personal relationships the success factor for COIL? Well, it's the relationships within the COIL network that made partner matching for COIL possible in the first place. Let me give you an example. After the kickoff event in Paris, we had within the Pioneer Alliance last year, and after several online meetings with our COIL network, we knew people from Huelva's Center for Academic Development. Huelva is in Spain. And we asked the colleagues from Huelva to find a teacher to match with our Spanish teacher at TH Köln for developing a COIL. And our contact from the University of Huelva felt a genuine sense of commitment and found a matching faculty, so that the German and Spanish teacher developed an interdisciplinary digital course on cities and urban culture in Spanish films. And it was this personal relationship we had established first that helped us create more relationships between teachers. So one direct outcome of our COIL network are the growing relationships between teachers and between staff as well, across borders. Another achievement are joint production of pedagogical, didactic guidelines and communication materials and tools. So let me give you some examples. We had developed a poster together, a leaflet, and a new partner matching platform online. More long-term outcomes are increased student mobility, innovative teaching formats being implemented across Europe on a kind of digital European campus, and a strengthened European identity among our students and staff. And now I will talk about the challenges. A good network does not automatically mean that more COILs are being implemented at the institutions. Why is this? Well, first of all, the partners within our COIL network, the partner institutions, are at very different stages in terms of higher education pedagogy. There are some champions of academic development, but also partners who do not even have a central unit for academic development. Secondly, internationalization features in all strategies, but operationalizing COIL is difficult. Erasmus funding for BIPs, blended intensive programs, for example, these blended intensive programs have a framework through Erasmus funding, whereas COIL does not yet have administrative processes linked to it. So there is no automatic funding, there is no automatic monitoring of these virtual exchanges, as there is no physical mobility. So you don't get extra funding, but the digital mobility is also resource intensive and you need to invest more. But this extra effort is not rewarded, and for now, it still depends very much on the teacher's intrinsic motivation to do a COIL and go the extra mile, do the extra effort. So to summarize our talk, with COIL, you need to network on more than one level. International relation offices and centers for academic development or centers for teaching and learning should or must work together at COIL, because there is a need for pedagogical, didactical, technical, and organizational support and advice for this specific type of online teaching, these virtual exchanges or COILs. Thank you for your time and attention, and we're looking forward to your questions.